Hi, Benno. Welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing. We'll let that play on through, and then we'll put you back in your dress position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. Lower spine is straight and on a tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. All that's fine. You then do hold your arms out and work the golf club down to the ball. So ideally what we need to do here is we need to try and get your arms to hang down a little bit more naturally so your hands are closer to your thighs. Then let the golf club work out to the ball. We have to increase the angle relationship between your arms / wrists and the golf club. So in here we need to improve the angle relationship. Right now you're really pronating your hands and arms up, and you're creating a straight looking line with the golf club, which creates a lot of tension and stiffness in the swing, and possibly will inhibit your ability to create any wrist hinge in the golf swing. And wrist hinge creates club travel during the backswing, and it also creates a major source of power. Also looking at your alignment, feet are running in this direction, carry it out towards the intended target. Now parallel lines on camera will have an appearance of converging, and your club face theoretically is supposed to run parallel to your feet. So you would be set up based on your feet to hit the ball sort of down maybe the right center of the fairway. So not that much of an issue with respect to your alignment. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here. Model swing with Jordan Spieth. We'll flip him over to left-handed. So you can see here that his arms are definitely hanging better. His hands are a lot closer to his thighs, as I was talking about, and he has an angle relationship between his arms and his golf club. What I'm going to do here is, because your arms, actually I'm going to put up the red line first, and I'm going to put it right about there. Because your arms should be hanging more naturally down in this direction, and with the golf club working out there, I'm going to put this second red line on the screen, because the first one will have no bearing on what your golf club should be doing, because that pronation is just putting the red line out of position. And what you can also see is when you pronate, and I put that first red line over top your club shaft, it puts all your lines way too close together, the red, yellow, and blue. So if you look at the second red line, you can see the spacing now. Well, the spacing is now much more similar to what we see with Jordan Spieth. So let's concentrate on the second red line as it pertains to your golf swing. From here, as we initiate our takeaway, simply want to rotate our shoulders, draw our arms and hands back as well as the club, and we want to see the club travel back directly along the red line. It means the club's coming back on proper swing plane. Through here, we're going to start to incorporate some wrist hinge into play, whereby we're transitioning the club head from below to above our hands, and then we're going to move the golf club from red up towards yellow and or blue. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the right arm and the club are going to be situated either on the yellow line or the blue line, or somewhere in between. Anything steeper than that would be too steep. Anything below the yellow would be too shallow. Let's go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway. You draw your hands back nicely. Shoulders are kicking in. We can see that you're fanning that club back to the inside. So, I mean, if we were to look at the original red line, you're way inside. Looking at the second red line, you're still inside, but obviously not as far. We're going to have to see some wrist hinge here shortly so the club can recover. We can see you maintain a very stiff or rigid relationship with the club. As I had mentioned, with your pronation at address, it inhibits wrist hinge. So we can see here that you're not cocking your wrist through this part of your golf swing at all. The club's now obviously very laid off. As you continue to move back, we start to get some wrist hinge now, which is good. We're getting shoulder rotation, so you're starting to recover. You're looking like you're in a good position, but you actually start to look like you're working the club very vertically, and it looks like the club's going to now go in the other direction, and arms are going to compress to your core, and you're going to cross the line, and that's exactly what we see here. Your right arm's folding because your left arm is compressed to your core. Your left forearm is compressing to your bicep. Your bicep and your tricep are compressing to your rib cage, and that's causing your right arm to fold. The club is also across the line. You can see the club shaft and the club head are not within that blue-yellow V zone, and we obviously see a very different position on the left side of the screen. Now you've rotated well, you've maintained your stability on your left leg, and you maintained your posture with your rotation, so you do have some good qualities with respect to other things in your backswing. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right. We want to fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind the core, and fire our hands. And doing so, we got to, in Jordan's case, bring the golf club from blue back down onto red. And that's exactly what we see here. We see the golf club returning back to on plane. The other thing we want to point out at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the club. I refer to this as the check mark position. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone getting the club to return back to plane as we already stipulated, which is the main reason why we have the ability to hit the ball straight in accordance to wherever we're aimed. With you, as you create your downswing here, hands come over the top. So that over the top move is going to have an influence on the club. You're going to have to fight to keep that club head back in behind your hands. Get to the next frame. Let me go one more. No. Okay. So at this point in time, basically what we're looking at is you know, here's your lead forearm, and there's your club. So you've got your backwards check mark. The only problem is your golf club, the head of it, is not returning back to plane. So that over the top move is causing you to come into the ball too steep, and that is going to cause your swing pad to attack the ball from outside to inside. So we can go ahead and get this stuff off the screen here. Just continue to track the club head coming into the ball. We can see with Jordan, he just comes into the ball directly from on plane. And again, like I said, this is what allows us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment, assuming that the last criteria, the grip is good and the club face will square up. Okay, with you, we'll track your club head coming in. It's going to fall down out. Oh wow, you did a good job really fighting to get that back. So you can see here you're really working, because of that over the top move, you're really working and fighting to keep that club head behind. So that's a good move right there, because let's go to impact, and if we just sort of connect the dots, we can see that your club is ever so slightly, right about here, you're pretty close to plane. Now you don't get the golf club to hit the plane line as early as Jordan back here, but you do get it pretty close to your plane line down in this vicinity right here, and then it continues to track into the ball, fighting to basically stay on plane. So that's not too bad. So considering that your alignment is fairly decent, your downswing plane, you actually get the golf club almost right back on plane. As long as that club face squares up, you should hit a pretty good golf shot here. So we can see some similar characteristics here at impact. We can see that you know, Jordan's club is obviously more inside the ball because he was more on plane. You're a little bit more directly behind the ball, so not attacking it as far outside. So because of that move with your downswing plane, you could be attacking the ball a little bit from out to in. Jordan's now going to basically expand out to the golf ball and then move through. Nice natural subtle arc. Your club head might drop down and inside a hair here. Yeah, so it does. Okay, so it's moving just a little bit more on a line to the right and in accordance to your alignment. At this point in time, based on where you're aimed and based on your swing path, your golf ball, if the club face squares up, should take off sort of out in that direction, and then hopefully maybe stay out in that direction. If you over-release the club, ball would start to sort of tail off to the right. If you under-release the club, ball will tail off a little left. As you're coming through here, we do see your golf shot taking off out in that direction. So it looks like the club face stayed a little open to the path in this particular scenario, and then if the club face was releasing, it might have imparted some left to right spin. So the issue here is it really comes down to timing of the club face. You know, if the club face stays open, we might block that ball a little left. Club face closes too much, we might draw it a little too far right. But if the timing's okay, it should turn out to be a pretty decent golf shot. At point of impact, I want to talk about that your left heel's off the ground, as is Jordan's, and then just watch the continued activity of that left foot up on the toe. Gets the weight to the right side, allows his hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate, hands finish high with the club back in behind him. You got a pretty good move through to your finishing position here, which looks great. Overall, you've got some really nice athletic characteristics with your golf swing. Your hands work well. They come back, they fire through. Your coil's good. You coil back, you uncoil through. You get yourself through to a good finish because you got some pretty good footwork. At the end of the day, your posture's good. You get a little too much pronation in the hands. So again, we like to learn how to get those hands down towards our kneecaps a little bit more at address. From there, you know, your swing's good. It just geometrically, it sort of moves around a little. And what I mean by that is it lacks wrist hinge coming back. It gets laid off and shallow, and then arms compress. Then you cross the line, then you come over the top, then you fight to keep the club head behind the hand. So there's a lot of, you know, specific things that are sort of going on here. One direction to another direction, to yet again another direction, then fighting to keep the club head behind, and then, better square the club face up. So it does require a lot of timing on your part to find your intended target. But like I said, you've got some really good athletic qualities in your golf swing. Obviously, you should be able to hit some good quality golf shots at times for sure. Okay? Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. If you happen to be involved with any golf tournaments, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, certainly feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. My contact information is here on the screen. And if at any point in your time you ever want to work on your golf game, I'm at Glen Abbey in Oakville, where the event was held, and I'd be happy to structure up a program for you. Anyways, again, hope you had a great day. Hope you had a good summer, and hope that leads you into a good fall.